Welcome to Growth Mindset Success, where your journey to personal excellence begins. Here, we unlock powerful ideas and timeless wisdom from the world's most influential books on success, mindset, and motivation. In a fast-paced world, you need guidance that inspires and equips you to act, improve, and rise. That's what we deliver. No fluff, just value. Whether you're an entrepreneur, dreamer, or seeker of clarity and purpose, you're in the right place. So sit back, relax, and get ready to grow. If you find value, don't forget to subscribe for weekly book summaries that unlock your full potential. Let's dive in. The Master Key System. Introduction. The Master Key System by Charles F. Haanel, first published in 1916, is one of the most influential works in self-development. Originally written as a 24-week correspondence course, it teaches the power of thought and how the mind can consciously shape reality. The book lays out a step-by-step system for developing concentration, visualization, and alignment with universal laws, showing how thoughts become the foundation of success, health, and happiness. It has inspired countless works in modern success literature and continues to be a timeless guide for personal growth and achievement. Lesson 1. The World Within. Haanel begins by introducing a key idea. There are two worlds, the outer world and the inner world. The outer world is what we see, our environment, our circumstances, our daily experiences. But the inner world is our mind, our thoughts, beliefs, and imagination. He says the outer world is always a reflection of the inner world. So, if you want to change your life, you have to begin within. Harmony inside creates harmony outside. This is why your thoughts are so powerful. They literally shape your reality. The first exercise is simple but profound. Spend 15 to 30 minutes daily sitting still, completely motionless, and try to gain control over your body. This practice builds discipline, which is the first step toward mastering your mind. Haanel emphasizes that all power comes from within, and until we realize this truth, we remain powerless. He explains that the world within is the source of wisdom, strength, and creativity. If our inner world is filled with optimism, faith, and clarity, the outer world must mirror those conditions. But the reverse is also true. Confusion, fear, and negativity inside will eventually appear as challenges, failure, or lack outside. This is why controlling thought is the foundation of personal mastery. Haanel reminds us that every great achievement in history began first as an idea, a vision in someone's inner world. The buildings we live in, the technologies we use, even entire civilizations, all started as thought. Thought is therefore constructive because it shapes reality itself. He also introduces the principle that we must be before we can do, and we must do before we can have. In other words, becoming the right kind of person on the inside is the first step toward creating the life we want on the outside. Harmony in the inner world is not just about positive thinking. It is about discipline, self-control, and deliberate direction of our thoughts. Once we master this, Haanel says, we become creators in the truest sense. So the lesson begins with a challenge that may seem simple, but is actually profound. Still the body, calm the mind, and begin the journey of inner mastery. Lesson 2. The Conscious and Subconscious Mind. In Lesson 2, Haanel explains the two parts of our mind, the conscious and the subconscious. The conscious mind reasons, chooses, and makes decisions. But the subconscious mind is like fertile soil. It accepts whatever is planted in it, whether positive or negative. Here's the important part. The subconscious is incredibly powerful. It controls our habits, our health, and our reality. The conscious mind is the watchman at the gate. Its job is to decide what suggestions are allowed in. If we let negative ideas slip through, the subconscious acts on them without question. But if we feed it positive, creative ideas, it works tirelessly to bring them to life. Haanel stresses that the subconscious mind never sleeps. It works day and night, silently influencing every part of our lives. It governs vital functions like heartbeat, digestion, and growth, but it also shapes our character, our beliefs, and even our environment. He explains that the subconscious is like a faithful servant. It obeys without question. If you repeatedly think of failure, the subconscious creates the conditions that attract failure. If you focus on success, it works just as tirelessly to bring opportunities, ideas, and people that align with success. That's why Haanel calls the conscious mind the watchman. It must carefully guard what thoughts are allowed in. He warns us that unchecked emotions like fear, worry, or anger can slip past the conscious guard and take root in the subconscious, where they grow into harmful habits and circumstances. On the other hand, when we consciously plant seeds of confidence, harmony, and abundance, the subconscious nurtures them until they manifest in our lives. This is the foundation of the law of attraction. Thoughts become things because the subconscious brings them into form. The exercise here is to practice stillness again, but this time, aim to quiet your thoughts completely. In doing so, you'll discover just how many thoughts fight for your attention. The moment you begin to control your mental chatter, you begin to gain authority over the subconscious mind itself. Lesson 3. The solar plexus and personal power. Lesson 3 introduces the solar plexus, what Haanel calls the sun of the body. He believed this energy center connects the conscious and subconscious minds. When the solar plexus radiates health and vitality, you feel confident, magnetic, and powerful. But fear, doubt, and negativity contracted, leading to weakness and disease. Haanel describes the solar plexus as the point where the finite self meets the infinite, where personal power links directly with universal energy. This is why people who carry courage and confidence seem to radiate an aura. Others feel their presence and are uplifted by it. When the solar plexus is active, the body is filled with vitality and harmony, and even the environment around you begins to reflect this inner strength. But when it is blocked by fear, criticism, or negative thought, that life force is restricted, producing disharmony in mind, body, and circumstances. The key takeaway is this: fear is your greatest enemy. Haanel calls fear the dark cloud that hides the sun, preventing your true light from shining. When fear is destroyed, your natural state of power, health, and confidence emerges effortlessly. He reminds us that thoughts of courage, hope, and optimism expand the solar plexus, while resistance and anxiety shut it down. The practical exercise for this lesson is to relax completely, mentally and physically, removing tension from every muscle and nerve until you feel quiet, peaceful, and open. In this state, imagine yourself radiating positive energy like a sun, sending waves of confidence and harmony into the world. By practicing this, you awaken your inner source of power and step closer to the life of mastery Haanel envisions. Lesson 4. The I within you. Haanel now turns to the true nature of the I. You are not your body. You are not even your conscious mind. The real I is spiritual. It is your higher self, connected to universal intelligence. This I is the director, the power that commands both mind and body. Haanel explains that the I is infinite in nature because it is one with the universal I that animates all of creation. When we identify with our true self, we rise above temporary conditions and realize that strength, wisdom, and creativity are already within us. He warns, however, that most people misuse this power by focusing their thoughts on selfish or destructive ends, which only weakens them. The mature, trained mind understands that every transaction, every thought, and every action must benefit not only the individual, but also the greater whole, because all life is interconnected. He emphasizes that affirmations are a tool for awakening this higher identity. One of the strongest affirmations, he says, is to declare daily, "I can be what I will to be." This statement is not wishful thinking. It is a recognition of your true creative nature. Every time you repeat it with conviction, you impress the subconscious mind and align yourself with the universal Haanel cautions that discipline is essential. If you begin a practice, you must carry it through, because half-hearted effort trains the habit of failure. But when you persist, your sense of inner power grows, and your outer world begins to reflect it. The more you realize who and what this I truly is, the more invincible you become, provided your aims are constructive and in harmony with universal law. Lesson 5. The Power of Thought. In Lesson 5, Haanel focuses on thought as energy. He explains that thought is not just abstract. It is a real creative force. Every thought we hold sets in motion vibrations that move through the unseen substance of the universe and eventually manifest into reality. This is why he says the mind is the master weaver, creating both the inner garment of character and the outer garment of circumstance. Thoughts of courage, harmony, and strength create health, success, and opportunity, while thoughts of fear, lack, or discord create limitation and struggle. In other words, what we habitually think about, we bring about, whether we intend it or not. Recognizing this truth puts us face to face with our responsibility. We are shaping our future every single day through the mental pictures we hold. Haanel makes it clear that the law of attraction is not a mysterious magic. It is the natural operation of mind acting upon universal substance. To demonstrate this, he introduces the practice of visualization. The exercise is simple but powerful. Imagine a beautiful object, such as a flower. See it in your mind's eye. Picture its colors, its texture, its fragrance, and hold the image steadily. This is more than daydreaming. It is training the mental muscles of focus and creativity. The more vivid and detailed the image, the stronger the impression on the subconscious, and the faster it takes form in reality. With practice, this skill can be applied to any goal, health, success, or achievement. Proving that thought, directed with clarity and emotion, is the first step in conscious creation. Lesson 6. The Law of Growth. Lesson 6 introduces the law of growth. Just like a seed grows into a tree, thoughts grow into reality. The subconscious mind takes the seeds we plant and nurtures them until they become real-world experiences. A practical exercise is to choose an ideal, perhaps health, wealth, or success, and concentrate on it daily. Picture it vividly, feel it emotionally, and trust that it will unfold naturally. Growth always starts in silence and invisibility, just like a seed underground. At first, nothing may appear on the surface, but changes are happening deep within. That's why patience and faith are essential. Every repeated thought strengthens the roots of your desire. If you focus on fear or doubt, those seeds will also grow. So choose carefully what you plant in your mind. The law of growth works for both good and bad seeds. The lesson teaches that you don't need to force results. Your role is to nurture the right mental image. Nature handles the process of growth when you give it time and consistency. By holding a steady vision of your goal, you create harmony between the conscious and subconscious mind. That harmony allows the universal mind to bring opportunities and resources to you. In short, your daily practice of positive concentration is the sunlight and water for your inner seeds. Over time, they must bear fruit in the outer world. Lesson 7. The Power of Visualization. Visualization is expanded in Lesson 7. Haanel explains that the clearer and more vivid your mental images, the faster they manifest. The subconscious does not distinguish between imagination and reality. It simply acts on the images it receives. The exercise is to imagine yourself in your ideal situation, whether it's career success, health, or happiness. The more real it feels, the more quickly it takes shape in your outer life. Visualization is like building a blueprint for your future. Before a house is built, the design must first exist on paper. Your mental picture serves the same purpose. Every detail you add strengthens the structure of your vision. If you imagine vaguely, the results will be vague. But if you imagine clearly, the results become precise. Haanel teaches that visualization trains the subconscious to attract matching conditions and people. It's not about wishful thinking, it's about mental rehearsal for reality. Athletes, inventors, and leaders have used this principle for centuries. The key is consistency, seeing the same picture every day until it feels natural. When the subconscious accepts it as true, circumstances begin shifting to align with it. The lesson reminds us that your outer world always mirrors your inner world. If you picture abundance, health, and joy, life responds with opportunities that reflect those images. In the same way, negative pictures also become real if you focus on them. That's why guarding your imagination is as important as guarding your actions. Visualization, when practiced faithfully, becomes the creative bridge between thought and reality. Lesson 8. Thinking big and eliminating limitations. Lesson 8 is all about expanding your vision. Haanel warns against small thinking, saying that limitation exists only in the mind. The universe is abundant, and by aligning with abundance consciousness, we remove restrictions. The exercise here is to picture your ideal life without holding back. Don't think in terms of what seems possible. Think in terms of what you truly desire. Haanel reminds us that poverty and lack are created by thoughts of fear and doubt. When we think small, we shut the door to greater opportunities. But when we think big, we open the channel for bigger results to flow in. The universal mind responds to the size of our vision. Bold ideas attract bold circumstances. By daring to imagine more, we break free from limitations of the past. Expansion in thought always leads to expansion in life. Lesson 9. The Secret of Power. In Lesson 9, Haanel emphasizes that real power is not found in force or struggle, but in alignment with universal law. He says power comes through self-control, calmness, and harmony, not through aggression or domination. The exercise is to sit quietly and mentally project courage, strength, and confidence outward, as if you're radiating it to the world. True power flows from within and does not need to prove itself through conflict. The moment you try to dominate others, you weaken yourself. But when you master your own thoughts and emotions, you become unshakable. Haanel explains that harmony with universal law makes you magnetic, attracting cooperation and goodwill. This kind of power inspires rather than intimidates. It is steady, silent, and unstoppable. By practicing inner calmness, you connect with the limitless energy of the universal mind. Lesson 10. The Spirit of Opulence. Lesson 10 focuses on abundance. Haanel teaches that poverty is a mental condition, while abundance is a spiritual reality. By adopting the spirit of opulence, by feeling rich, grateful, and generous, we attract wealth and prosperity. The exercise is to be generous in thought and action. Practice giving, whether it's money, kindness, or service, and affirm that the supply of the universe is endless. Haanel reminds us that holding on tightly out of fear of loss blocks the flow of wealth. The law of circulation means what we give freely returns multiplied. Thinking abundance creates abundance. Thinking lack creates lack. By acting as if you already have plenty, you place yourself in harmony with unlimited supply. Gratitude strengthens this harmony, while envy and fear weaken it. The key is to trust that the universe never runs out. When you think and live generously, you naturally attract prosperity in every area of life. Lesson 11. The Laws of Success. In Lesson 11, Haanel outlines that success is a matter of law, not luck. Just like gravity, the laws of the mind and spirit are constant. When we understand and apply them, success becomes inevitable. Failure comes only when we work against these laws. The exercise is to visualize yourself already successful. Picture the results you want as if they're already here. Haanel explains that success begins with a definite ideal and steady concentration on it. The clearer the goal, the more surely the law works. Doubt and hesitation interrupt the process, while faith and persistence accelerate it. Every thought moves you closer to success, or closer to failure, depending on whether it is constructive or destructive. He reminds us that great achievements are never accidents. They are the product of exact thinking in harmony with universal principles. By disciplining the mind, success becomes not just possible, but certain. Lesson 12. Realizing your potential. Finally, Lesson 12 reminds us that the potential within us is infinite because we are connected to universal intelligence. When we realize this, we stop limiting ourselves. We begin to live with courage, vision, and purpose. The exercise is to concentrate on your ideal for at least 30 minutes daily, forming a clear mental picture and impressing it upon your subconscious. And that concludes the first half of Asterisk, the Master Key System Asterisk. These 12 lessons lay the foundation for personal mastery, teaching us stillness, visualization, abundance, and the incredible power of thought. In Part 2, we'll dive into the remaining 12 lessons where Haanel expands on these principles and shows how to apply them to every aspect of life, from wealth and health to happiness and spiritual growth. So stay tuned for Part 2. And remember, the key to transformation begins within.